There's something I've realized about going topside. It doesn't matter how carefully you plan a raid. You can spend an hour prepping perfect loadouts, mapping routes, tracking objectives, and still walk away remembering something completely different. Not the loot, not the firefights, the people. Welcome back to Speranza, Raiders. Or if you're new here, welcome to PostagothalyptiC Games. I've always loved games that create stories naturally. Not scripted moments, but player moments. The kind you talk about afterward, like old war stories. And honestly, that's a huge part of what this channel's becoming. Arc Raiders, Helldivers, and shortly, tabletop skirmish games, terrain builds, and RPG stuff. Different battlefields, same stories. People surviving insurmountable odds through togetherness. If you think PostagothalyptiC Games might be a good channel for you, please like and subscribe. That stuff really helps. And stick around. Today's raid was said to be simple. Shiny needed someone to get something out of a J-Cosmic container in Stellamontis. But if it sounds easy, the job will probably try and kill you. Briefly checked my weekly trials, mostly to lay eyes on them. I was absolutely not focused on them these raids at all, but that's fine. And then, I nearly tanked the whole raid. Embark Studios once again protecting raiders from themselves, thank you. I'd somehow equipped a Stitcher without bringing a single round of light ammo. That's less of a firearm and more of an aggressively shaped club. I don't know if I was going to throw it at him, I don't know. Oh yeah. So the Stitcher stays behind. The Arpeggio comes with me instead, alongside an El Toro shotgun now fitted with a new Shotgun Choke 2, I believe it was. So with ammo actually equipped in my backpack for the weapons that I'm carrying, I'm ready to go hit Stellamontis. But first, let's hit these tubes. Oh yeah. Man. Hit those tubes a little hard. Somehow, I find myself in the loading bay at Stellamontis.
You're looking for shipping containers.
It's a miracle. Shani comes on to remind me I'm looking for J-Cosma shipping containers. And then, I'm on my own. Look for shipping containers marked J-Cosma, she says. Helpful. But somehow, the very first container I climbed over held the objective. Old World books. I don't know if the world ended due to late fees or what, but I hope they're worth it. For a moment, it almost felt too easy. So I'm scavenging around, but then I'm hearing it. The metallic footsteps of a bastion clanking somewhere down beneath me, echoing through the snow throughout the loading bay. I'm wary of him. I kind of continue on scavenging, managing to land a spaceport warehouse key along the way. Not bad. I look around. I can definitely hear this bastion, and I'd like to engage it, but I can't see him from here, so I move on. This poor android didn't make it. Every time I see one of these, I can't help but think of Lance. Poor guy just wants to know where he comes from. I spotted a turret below, and as I'm scavenging around, I realize I've gotten a lot of these crude explosives. So I drop behind this container. I go ahead and equip those. And I go ahead and line up a shot on this turret, and I think I'm going to take it out with some of these explosives. And I do pop it one real good, and I kind of back off just to see the damage. 111 damage, not bad. Before I can take it out, another raider finishes it off with a quick clean shot from somewhere out of sight.
Thanks!
So I throw a quick thank you emote, which is when I discovered, my channel's open, but my comms aren't working. So now all my diplomacy is going to have to be conducted either through body language or, aggressive crouching. I don't know. So kind of, something weird going on down here. Think a smoke grenade, maybe? I pop out, and finally I locate this bastion. I got a good vantage point on him. So I start to bombard him with explosives. But then, a wasp finds me. And for those of you that don't already know, wasps are kind of the standard reconnaissance drone of the Ark, the guard drone. They have a machine gun. Luckily for me, the arpeggio puts them down pretty easily. Otherwise, I might have been in trouble. So I go ahead and raid this little guy, steal all his gubbins, and then I call out to these raiders that are down here fighting this bastion, trying to let them know I'm here to help. Hopefully they don't get too upset. So far, it's been pretty chill. I've heard a lot of firing, but it seems to be at the Ark. So right now, I'm ready to throw my lot in with these raiders. Here I try and take some shots, but you can see that little red dot means I'm not lined up properly. I can mark the Ark from here, but it's trying to warn me that I'm not going to hit him. So, terrible vantage point. I go ahead and try and take another vantage point. And as I'm kind of checking it out, trying to get myself lined up to where I can see him, I hear this raider call out behind me just to say hello, just to let me know that they were there. And so I call back. And I start to realize, you know, as I was here a little more, it became clear this is not PvP Bloodbath Stellavontis. This was several random players trying to bring down the same big nasty machine, you know? No squad, no coordination, just survivors moving between catwalks, throwing explosives, taking shots when they could, and trying not to get flattened by several tons of angry metal in the process. So I help out. I lay into them where I can. I throw lots of explosives. I keep finding grenades. I keep chucking them. And eventually, I get into the rhythm. I've damaged him enough at this point to pull aggro, and he does aggro on me pretty hard. But that means that the other raiders that I'm combating him with are not being aggro. So at that point, they have a window of opportunity, and then when he goes back to hunting them, look, I'm right back bombarding his big demonic metallic ass. So we are going to take this guy out. It's just a matter of time. This is also when I found out when you throw a frag grenade on top of one of these big flat guys, it just kind of sits on top of them. So those can be a little more effective than I thought they would be. So we keep throwing good stuff. I'm throwing snap blasts. We got smoke grenades down there to kind of obscure him. I was going to throw my wasp driver, but it kind of turns out we don't need it. I thank these guys for helping. I make ready. As soon as the smoke clears, I draw another bead on them and I keep going. But I think that grenade was the last straw. So I shout down to these raiders, just letting them know I'm on my way. And proceed to make my way down the catwalk with all the grace of a 50-pound bag of potatoes being dropped from a third-story window. And then as I approach, I bandage myself up, of course. And then I head down to try and loot this bastion. At some point along the way, I hear someone call out for a defib. So instead of immediately looting the bastion, I think it's probably better to take care of this raider. Now mind you, I still don't have comms, so I just run over hoping nobody ganks me. Pull my defib out, take care of this guy. Some things don't need much explanation. So I get him back on his feet, and I head back to the bastion. By the time I reach the bastion wreckage, most of the high-value cells are already gone. But I managed to get a raider up, which honestly felt more important than the loot. And nobody was fighting. No one turned on each other. No piles of raider corpses littered the snow. Just strangers surviving topside together in the ruins of the old world to support hope for a new one. So I scavenged what I could, motion cores, arc alloy, found some electronic components in this old Android here, along with a battery and some wires. Enough to make the trip worthwhile. Craft some bandages. I left the extra fabric behind for the next raider. And then it was time to head to the metro. The warning lights were already flashing yellow, so I know the train was inbound. My backpack was full, the quest item was in my bag, and honestly, I was satisfied. I headed there as quick as I could, but I barely made it through the doors before they closed. As I approach, I stow my gun so I can run faster, and I do a last-minute tuck and roll to get inside, throwing one last thumbs up to the raider inside before it left. 11 minutes and 17 seconds. That is all that raid was. Not every successful raid needs to end in chaos, and it doesn't have to be long. And no, I didn't get any Bastion cells. But I got a decent amount of points, a little bit of cred. Felt good about what I was doing, and completed the cold storage quest. Not bad. The next raid is much shorter. Probably the shortest raid I've ever been on. But it became one of my favorites. Buried City. Market Ruins. I slide down into the sand and immediately encounter a fireball. But the trusty Pharaoh battle rifle settled that discussion very quickly. I searched through the broken shelves and old refrigeration units, little fragments of civilization long gone. Then I heard the sound of a raider cache nearby, and just about the time I reached it, I heard a snap hook fire overhead, followed by a raider falling from the sky. Yeah, 6 stories, minimum, straight down into the ground in front of me. I asked if he was okay. He was very clearly not. I'm going to let in-game me take it for a while because we talk a lot. Sorry for the echoes.
No.
I cut out what I can.
No, I can try and stabilize you with some bandages, but that's about all I got, man. Yeah, I do, dude. Let's head to this hatch. Do you need stabilized? Yeah, there is. Okay, hang on. Okay.
We do our best
Let's go
to
this
stay
way.
low. Stay out of the line of sight of the Rocketeer.
Tell me if you need another one.
I'm not positive
I saw you
can
fall,
save us,
man, and I was like, that's
but I
fun.
know I have a damn good chance still,
I've been there.
so I gotta try.
Okay, you want another bandage?
I'm half health right
Half? Okay.
now. Yeah.
I'm going to hit you again just in case.
About this
All right.
time, a third raider shows up, and I don't know what to think. So I try and sound friendly. Pull
You
my
want to
gun
come with
just
us,
in
man?
case.
Oh,
To my surprise,
thank you.
Oh shit.
That was
He's here for the
awesome.
same reason I am,
Let's go.
and he has a defib.
Okay, man. You want something?
After receiving a reward for his kindness, I offer a way out for everyone.
Very cool. You guys want to leave this hatch?
Thanks.
Yeah, cool.
Let's do it.
And just like that, we left together. Just like that.
That was cool.
So yeah, 5 minutes, 7 seconds, guys. Got some halfway decent stuff. And all 3 raiders got out together. And honestly, that's the version of Arc Raiders that I love the most. Not just the firefights, not just the loot, but the strange little moments of humanity hidden in the waste. Raiders helping raiders. Choosing cooperation over greed. Stories you couldn't script if you tried. And that's really what Postagothalyptic Games is all about. Oh, and feeding Scrappy. Sorry, Scrappy. I'll get on it.